It was supposed to be just another late-night laugh, a casual couch chat between Chris Pratt and Jimmy Fallon, but within minutes, the air turned electric, a joke landed wrong, a look lingered too long, and then, Chris stood up, not smiling, not laughing. He walked off the set, leaving Jimmy frozen mid-sentence and the audience stunned into silence. No one saw it coming, not the producers, not the fans, not even Fallon himself. Now the internet is in chaos, rumors swirling, headlines screaming, and millions asking the same question. What did Jimmy say that made Chris snap? This wasn't just a celebrity walkout. This was a public unraveling, and beneath the surface, something far deeper was boiling. Something darker. Was it a personal betrayal, a Hollywood feud, or the final crack in a carefully constructed image? Whatever it was, the truth didn't just break the internet, it shattered the illusion of late-night charm forever. It began like any other appearance, lights up, cheers erupting, Chris Pratt stepping onto the stage with that trademark grin. The crowd roared. Jimmy rose to greet him, arms wide, the set glowing in warm colors. On the surface, it was familiar territory. 2 stars, 1 stage, 1 scripted routine. But underneath the applause, something was off. Chris's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. He sat down a little too stiffly. Jimmy's questions felt ... rehearsed, forced. There was laughter, yes, but it came too fast, too loud, like both men were hiding behind it. For weeks, rumors had followed Chris's studio, tensions, pressured interviews, whispers of exhaustion and conflict, and Fallon, he was known to probe where it hurt, smiling all the while. Tonight, they were on a collision course. The calm before the storm wasn't calm at all. It was a tightrope walk, above a pit of cameras, contracts, and expectations. The audience didn't know it yet, but this interview wasn't entertainment. It was detonation, waiting to happen. The interview rolled on, but something had shifted. The energy wasn't playful anymore. It was tight, charged, like a wire stretched too far. Jimmy leaned in, voice light, but his eyes sharp. So, Chris, that incident on set, care to clear the air? Chris froze for half a beat. He laughed, but it was hollow. I thought we were here to talk about the movie, Jimmy. The audience chuckled nervously. Jimmy smiled wider, pushing forward. Just curious. People are talking, wouldn't want the rumors to get ahead of you. Chris's jaw tightened. The tension was no longer subtext, it was headline. The questions came faster. About his co-star, about late call times, about attitude. Jimmy pressed with the charm of a practiced host, but Chris's patience was cracking. Every answer got shorter, every glance colder, and in the crowd, people stopped laughing. They started whispering. What was supposed to be a routine promo was unraveling in real time. The mask was slipping, and whatever was underneath was ready to break through. And then it happened. Jimmy leaned back, grinning, and delivered the line that shattered the room. Well, hey, if you can't take the heat, maybe don't show up late to set. Right. Laughter flickered through the audience. But Chris didn't laugh. He sat there, staring, the grin gone. His fingers clenched the armrest. A long pause. Heavy, uncomfortable. Then Chris stood up. Are you serious right now? Jimmy raised his hands, pretending innocence. It's just a joke. Man, come on. But Chris wasn't smiling. No, it's not. Not when people are out there believing this crap because of comments like that. The room went silent. A silence so loud it drowned out the cameras still rolling. Chris took a breath, eyes locked on Jimmy. Then he turned, stepped away from the desk, and walked straight off the stage, past crew, past cameras, straight into the unknown. Gasps rippled through the studio. Fallon sat frozen, stunned, lips parted, but silent. In that moment, the show stopped being entertainment. It became history. Backstage was chaos. Producers scrambled, assistants whispered into headsets. Security hesitated, unsure whether to intervene or disappear. Chris kept walking. Down the hallway, past dressing rooms. No words, just heat radiating off him like a furnace. Jimmy stayed on stage, trying to patch the moment with jokes. Well, I guess Chris had somewhere better to be, he said with a half laugh that no one echoed. The internet didn't wait. Within minutes, clips hit Twitter. Chris Pratt storms off Fallon, live meltdown. Tension explodes on set. Hashtags lit up, opinions poured in. Fans were split. Some called it brave, others called it unprofessional. NBC issued a vague statement. Unexpected interruption. We support our guests. But silence followed. Then came the leaks. Crew members, speaking off the record, claims of built-up resentment. A past segment that had crossed the line. Chris's team had allegedly warned Fallon's producers. No personal questions. That boundary was ignored, that this wasn't just a clash, it was the spark that ignited everything simmering underneath. Within hours, the story dominated every feed. Chris Pratt's name trended worldwide, so did Jimmy Fallon's comment sections, turned into battlegrounds. Some fans hailed Chris as a man pushed too far, finally standing up for himself. Others accused him of overreacting, of letting ego dictate the moment. PR teams scrambled. Fallon's camp released a clipped statement. "We regret the misunderstanding. Jimmy has always respected his guests, but it felt too polished." Too late then. Chris's rep broke the silence. Chris walked away from a moment that crossed a line, a moment that wasn't part of the agreed-upon discussion. He values honesty, professionalism, and personal boundaries. That's all it took. Suddenly, past clips resurfaced. Other interviews where Jimmy pressed too hard. Guests who laughed but looked uncomfortable. Patterns began to emerge, and the spotlight turned. What had started as one awkward exchange became a referendum on late-night culture. The performative smiles, the hidden scripts, the pressure to entertain at any cost. No, Jimmy wasn't just a host. He was the face of a system under fire. Chris disappeared from the spotlight for days. No interviews, no tweets, no red carpets. Just silence, the kind that speaks louder than words. Meanwhile, fallout spread like wildfire. Studio insiders whispered about tense meetings. Sponsors hesitated. Talk show ratings dipped. And behind the scenes, networks questioned everything. Would Chris return to promote his film? Would Jimmy address it on air? The public waited. Then, at a charity event, unannounced, Chris appeared. No entourage, no fanfare, just him, stepping to a podium, eyes calm but focused. "I believe in second chances," he said. "But I also believe in respecting people's limits on and off camera." It wasn't an apology. It wasn't an attack. It was clarity. Fallon, days later, opened his show with a somber tone. "Sometimes, I get it wrong, and when I do, I learn. I respect Chris. Always have. No drama. No defense. Just damage control." But the silence between them said it all. Their paths crossed on national television, but the fallout echoed in boardrooms, headlines, and homes, and the cost. Trust, shaken, reputations, reshaped. The storm had passed, but nothing was the same. In the end, it wasn't just about a joke, it was about what lies beneath the surface, behind the lights, beyond the scripts, past the rehearsed smiles. It was about a system where pressure disguises itself as humor, and dignity is sometimes the price of a punchline. Chris Pratt walked off that stage, not as a meltdown, but as a message, a reminder that celebrities are not invincible. That even in a world built on illusion, there are lines you don't cross, and when you do, someone might just stand up and walk away. Jimmy returned to business as usual. New guests, new jokes, but the shadow of that night still lingers, because the audience saw something real. And once you've seen behind the curtain, it's hard to pretend it's just a show. Was it pride? Was it principle? Was it the breaking point? Only Chris knows the full truth. But one thing is certain, in a world addicted to spectacle, this moment wasn't manufactured. It was raw, it was human, and it changed everything. So now the question hangs in the air, one that no statement or soundbite can truly answer. Was Chris Pratt right to walk off? Did he draw a line where too few ever dare? Or did he let emotion override the platform he was given? Comment sections are still divided. Fans argue, critics speculate. But the truth doesn't live in headlines. It lives in the silence that followed, in the tension we all felt through our screens. Because this wasn't just a TV moment, it was a fracture in the illusion of late-night charm. In the safety of celebrity interviews, in the comfort of knowing where the script ends and the truth begins. And maybe that's exactly what needed to happen. So what do you think? Was this the moment Chris Pratt lost control, or the moment he finally took it back? This story is far from over. Behind the flashing cameras and breaking headlines, the real fallout is just beginning. How will this change the way stars and hosts interact? Will boundaries be respected, or pushed further? Can trust be rebuilt in a world so hungry for drama? One thing is certain, moments like these don't fade quickly. They leave scars, questions, and a new understanding that even the brightest lights can dim when the pressure becomes too much. So as the spotlight moves on, the echoes of that night linger. A reminder that beneath the glamour, real people are fighting battles we rarely see. And sometimes, walking away isn't defeat, it's survival. The curtain has fallen on this act, but the story, it's just beginning. Thank you for watching. If you want to dive deeper into this story or explore more behind-the-scenes drama, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Join the conversation below. What's your take on Chris Pratt's walkout? Share your thoughts, your theories, and your own experiences with moments that changed everything, because this channel isn't just about stories, it's about uncovering the truth, one dramatic moment at a time. Stay tuned. The next chapter is coming.